Hello, people of the world, citizens of the realm. Today we're gonna do we're gonna go over the guidelines for diversity of content. These are the principles in which Bill C-10 and Bill C-36 were crafted and passed in the dead of night, just before summer recess. So I'm going to post the document, and it's a very fascinating document. I think it gets into the heads of the people, the powers that be, and how they look at um, how they view people who dissent from mainstream wisdom, and something to keep in mind as well when you are navigating, whether that be legal waters or just trying to keep your channel up, making appeals. These are guiding principles just to think about, to mull over, in which the government operates. So I think that is very important to go over, and I will post it. I think I have so many. Geez, I have so many links going on here. Okay, what's going on here? Let's see. How are y'all doing today? I There we go. So I'm going to post the link. You can also read for yourself as well in the chat, and maybe I'll do it in the description as well. I don't want it to be like, oh, look, he's going over legal stuff. Oh, it's boring. No, it's very important, and it does impact your life. And I think a lot of people, they get too apathetic, or they get too content in their current position. They think they can um, appeal, uh, 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 you know, stay stagnant in their current environment without considering these things. But this will have a huge impact. Could have impact on me and my channel, and you know, even to the extent of people getting hacked, um, and the motivation for hackers. So I'm just going to I'm going to screen share here, and then I'm going to read it for you. It's kind of self-explanatory. And mind you, too, is to say, oh, this is just Canada. This is, like, why would I bother? You're just some stupid nation from the far north, you know, irrelevant nature. They are coming after everybody. They want to control the whole world. They just don't want to control Canada. I mean, Canada's not really a gem to begin with, but it is a template on what's going on right now. Um, that you should definitely pay attention to what's going on in Canada, because it could happen in your neck of the woods as well. So this will give you the tools to prepare and to snuff out tyranny, despotic tyranny, to be exact here. So here we go. Guiding principles on diversity of content online. Introduction. This document aims to guide actions and measures that foster greater exposure to diverse cultural content, information, and news online. This exposure to diverse content should contribute to a healthier public discourse, greater social inclusion within society, bolster resilience to disinformation and misinformation, and increase our citizens' ability to participate in democratic processes. Diversity of content in this context is defined as diversity of sources, ideas, perspectives, a variety of content types or genres, as well the level of exposure and consumption of diverse content by an individual. So that first paragraph right there sets the tone. Um, in of itself, so what they don't define what is disinformation or misinformation. I think it's gotten to a point now where even if you do quote from their sites, um, that there will be, even if they do contradict themselves, and it's not the narrative of the day, and you quote the wrong thing on the wrong day. I'm guessing that's what they define as misinformation. So it's very arbitrary and it's very broad, but in the same token, they I guess what they want is they want to have access to their pre-approved diversity of sources and content um, to combat this disinformation, um, whatever that may be, and who just says that that is credible. So arbitrary and also contradictory. When you talk about the ability, so if somebody is doing misinformation, so it's off of this idea of freedom of speech. Um, it's really hard to see what so if you don't have an argument like a constructive counter argument and you still view it as misinformation, would that mean that that's grounds for censorship? I don't know. Very arbitrary. Lots of speculation going on here, and it's just like that's not how law is, and it's just that's not the. It is in the freedom of expression in the Charter of Rights. It does explain, the purpose of it is, for right ideas and wrong ideas to come together, and for truth to prevail. But there's definitely something sinister about this. I don't think this is really saying misinformation. That's saying that the source is not credible towards their standards. I believe that would probably be the most definite definition I can decipher off of that. But anyway, let's keep going. The guiding principles in this document are not legally binding and complement existing domestic and international obligations. They apply to a diverse group of stakeholders, including governments, regulators, civil society organizations, media sector representatives, and private sector companies, such as the service operating online, whose primary purpose is to broadcast or distribute content or share user-generated content online. These guiding principles have been developed by a multi-stakeholder working group in consultation with subject matter experts. They cover 4 themes deemed essential to the promotion of diversity of content online: creation, access, and discoverability of diverse content online, fair remuneration and economic viability of content creators, promotion of diverse pluralistic sources of news and information, as well as resilience against uh, yeah. What do you mean by resilience against disinformation and misinformation? Yeah, that's whatever you decide. I mean, the old saying goes, you could feel like you live in a free democratic nation by, the amount of choices that you have. Like you choose Pepsi, you choose Coke, you could choose Sprite, you have all this pluralistic sources, but God forbid you say that, pop is bad for you and you should stop drinking, it causes kidney stone. that would be like disinformation and misinformation, because that hurts the bottom line. I'm just giving you an example on how that can play out. Transparency of the impacts of algorithmic treatments online. I mean, they're doing that already, but yeah, I think this is just so this is kind of like, you could tell that you have the big tech, now you have the government kind of colluding together and basically oppressing any dissent, pretty much. By endorsing these guiding principles, the signatories agree to implement them within the scope of their responsibilities. Signatories also agree to pursue their engagement by developing specific commitments by December 2022 at the latest to show concrete actions they will take to implement these guiding principles. Signatory, okay. So that'd be like the CRT when it comes to Bill C-10 and Bill C-36. Bill C-36, basically anybody can, it can be an anonymous complaint so you can make a video and someone can complain to the RCMP, and then the RCMP can arrest you for hate speech. Don't think you're invisible from it. Just, yeah, it's only a sign of things to come, I'd say, with what happened to Travis Patron. Yeah, it's only a sign of things to come. You think it was just him? The old saying goes, they went for the, I don't know, they went for the small business, and I said nothing. They went to the flower shops, and I said nothing. And then they went to the pastors, and I said nothing. Then they came to me, and there was no one left to vouch for me. So don't think that just because it's a fringe party, or they said some things that you disagree with, that they're not going to come for you if you dissent from the mainstream narratives or whatever that may be for the day. So you could post something that is scientifically counter to the mainstream narrative, and someone can make a complaint online, and the RCMP can give you a knock on the door, and you'll be in jail for 48 hours. Or I don't know. Usually that's what happens. But anyway, I'll just keep going. Human rights. Yeah. All right. Acknowledgements, human rights. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. Like all of these freaking people, man. Oh my God. And they talk about freedom of expression. Yeah. Shut up. Freedom of expression that it suits your agenda. That's not even the purpose of freedom of expression. Anyway. Oh, here we go. So restate that the guiding principles of anti-racism, anti-hate, equity, diversity, and inclusion are at the core of respect for human rights in a free, democratic society and globally. Anti-racism. Okay. Anti-hate, pretty arbitrary. Equity, so everyone's equal. Very vague terms. This is just, yeah, it's communist slogans, right here. Recognize relationship between access to credible information and broad diversity of ideas as a foundation of democratic resilience. So they always talk about, like, Donald Trump. He's a threat to democracy. This is what they mean, is like it doesn't go with the establishment oligarchy. The oligarchy gets to decide what diversity of ideas are, not you. It's very very deceptive in that way. You still have a choice, but if your politics go outside of their interests, well, you don't really have a choice. You're misinformation. That's how they operate. emphasize the importance of media freedom, pluralism, and diversity of content and cultural expressions. Recognize that online platforms have become places for public discussion and may impact the opinion forming process of society and that accessibility and discoverability of content. Digital inclusion recognized that digital shifts and increasing media convergence have had an impact on all aspects of content creation and consumption. Recognize the importance of greater connectivity that allows communities to fully engage with one another to build resilient and strong democratic societies. Yeah, right. Highlight the importance of diverse content in local languages and meaningful civic participation. Confirm their support of for the principle of net neutrality and the promotion of a free, open, and tolerable and secure internet. So not only that, so net neutrality. So not only that, they always say, if you get banned off of Facebook or Twitter or anything like that, you can just make your own platform. But with net neutrality, basically, if you're on a server that, like a third party server, they can go to that third party server and basically tell you that they need to shut you down. And for whatever reason. And it has to be credible, of course. It has to be I guess in Parler they shut that down when January 6th happened. The Canadian Nationalist Party website was shut down when there was those charges against us of hate speech, and so they want you to just basically have a tie-in with the vaccine, because there's a vaccine passport, digital currency, and social credit score. So they basically want everybody to be tied into the system, and then if you have a dissenting opinion, you'll basically be shut off from society. You won't be included. You'll be excluded if you don't fit in with their diversity of ideas illusion. Confirm that systemic barriers which limit access and undermine economic availability of diverse content and opportunities for creators from equity, diverse, deserving groups should be identified and remedied. Right down. Recognize that some content and ideas that may be circulated on online platforms, including hate, racial prejudice, disinformation, and misinformation, can have real concrete consequences, that these can disproportionately affect Indigenous people and equity-deserving groups and persons, including persons with disabilities, racialized and local communities, linguistic and religious minorities, members of the LGBTQ plus, and gender-diverse groups. Pretty much, yeah. That's basically the fundamental axiom of Marxism. Yeah. Content reflecting different cultures, perspectives, including local languages, should be created and discoverable. Okay. Users should have access to local, national, and international sources of content, including in local and indigenous languages where acceptable. Users should also have access to settings that influence what content is recommended to them. Oh yeah, they're going to recommend content to you. So the government is going to recommend content to me now? How is the CRTC going to recommend content to me? That doesn't make any sense. Like, can they hack into the private? Like, how does that happen? How does the government have access to this technology? I thought it was private companies. So are they saying, like, for web search? But that's a private. Google's a private company. I don't get like what jurisdiction that the government has to even like influence your recommended content. your algorithm that you see, the videos that you see. It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, market conditions that allow for creators to create and disseminate information and content from different perspectives and languages should be promoted. Content creators should be appropriately and proportionately remunerated for the use of their works and copyright. There should be appropriate safeguards and tools against the online infringement of copyright. Okay, this includes a role in accordance with national laws for relevant internet service providers in the enforcement of copyright, which probably balances the interests of the right holders, users, and online services. Content creators should have opportunities to develop their skills to improve their economic viability. All relevant, except if they're not commercially acceptable. Anyway, it's almost like the government and like Google are like fused together. Kind of weird. All relevant actors should foster transparency and ensure fairness in their remuneration models when negotiating terms and conditions of a transaction. A diverse, pluralistic, healthy, and sustainable media ecosystem. Yeah, right. Which includes public service media and independent news and information sources should be fostered. Oh my lord, the gall of these freaking people. Exposure to a variety of local, national, international news, as well as information from diverse, independent sources, unless if it's misinformation, of course, about the lab leak and the alternative cures to the China virus. Yeah, that's misinformation. 1 year, next year it's fact. So I'm saying, like, these people don't care about truth. They don't care about objectivity. They don't care about being consistent. They don't care about being accountable. They just want to lie to your face and tell you that you have diversity of opinion until it undermines their narrative. Media and digital literacy for all citizens should be improved to further their ability to critically assess content they encounter. Ethical journalistic standards should. Oh, fuck. Oh, god damn you. Oh, my lord. The gall of you people. Did a clown write this? Man, yeah, that's Bob. It is a clown. Wow. Wow. That's all I gotta say. Yeah. Maybe I could use this in court. Yeah, sure. Ethical, sure. It's not only that they say you diversity of opinion and, you should okay, so you should have diversity of sources, to combat this misinformation. Okay, whatever. But then they throw in this, and it's just like, yeah, you guys are just lying. Like, it's not, yeah. You're not ethical whatsoever. You just knowingly lie to people's face. Should be taken to court for that for sure. Like, anyway, I'm just gonna keep going. Any measure to address disinformation and misinformation should ensure respect for the right to freedom of expression. Okay. Any measure to address. Oh. So disinformation. Any measure to. So disinformation and misinformation doesn't fall in the realm of freedom of expression. You have freedom of expression if you want to address the disinformation and misinformation. Gotcha. Information about media ownership and funding sources should be accessible to the public and transparent to safeguard a diverse and pluralistic media ecosystem. So that means small content creators as well too. So yeah, basically this is a foot in the door to regulate and tax your income, just like the public funders. because CBC is state funded. No one's watching them. No one really takes. Well, I mean, the media still has in Canada lots of credibility. Still, people still follow what the media says. You don't want to be unpopular. You stick your neck out. Yeah, we're a communist country. I just say it. We're the Iron Curtain, baby, because we're cowards. We won't speak out. It's quite sad. Anyway, meaningful transparency and responsible disclosure around content-based recommendation systems should be made available to enable citizens to understand why they are recommended content. So right there, yeah, the state will tell you what they'll recommend to you. I told you. I told you. Content recommendation algorithms should promote content reflecting different sources, perspectives, ideas, and genres. Content recommendation algorithms and their developers should minimize potential systemic biases and discrimination in outcome related to such things as, oh boy, as race, sexual orientation, gender identity, and ability. So it's now hate speech to have to say that men run faster than girls. That's hate speech. Or that there's two genders. That's hate speech. I mean, that's basically the guiding principles of these laws. Is it not? Am I misunderstanding that? Organizations must ensure they comply with applicable privacy laws when handling personal information, develop and deploy algorithms. Yeah, right. You harvest the shit out of that data. The development and implementation of content recommendation systems should respect freedom of expression in a way that allows for safe and diverse content. Signatories also agreed to pursue their engagement by developing specific commitments by December 2022 at the latest to show concrete actions they will take to implement the guiding principles. The specific commitments will remain evergreen and continue to evolve. Creation, access, and discoverability of a diverse content. Governments will endeavor to, private sector will endeavor to, civil society will endeavor to, and so on and so forth. Okay, responsibilities. It is the responsibility of all signatories, this is what I just mentioned, to work together to achieve the objectives of these guiding principles. Signatories will promote direct and open dialogue between partner states, the private sector, notably online platforms, media sector representative. So that's my speculation is confirmed there with private and government. And civil society on their responsibilities in connection with the protection and promotion of exposure to diverse content online. Signatories recognize that following guiding principles aim to complement and have been inspired by existing regulatory texts and guidelines such as, but not limited to, the UNESCO Convention on the Protection and the Promotion of Diversity of Cultural Expressions and of the European Council conclusions on safeguarding free and pluralistic media systems. Yeah, they're oligarch media systems. Because these guiding principles are set in a rapidly evolving environment, it is essential to perceive them as a document for open guidance, to be revised and adapted according to the evolution of technologies and the societies they aim to help and protect. To interpret them correctly, it is important to keep the following points in mind. Although the guiding principles are presented as a list, they are not ranked. The last principle is not less important than the first. However, it is possible, depending on the circumstances of a particular case, to lend more weight to one principle than another, or to consider one principle more relevant than another. Although the inevitability to reflect the ethical standards, normative values, political culture of signatories that have developed them due to multi-stakeholder composition of drafting group, the guiding principles can still provide the basis for an intercultural and international dialogue, although they are expected to be implemented in good faith by a signatory party. Yeah, right. This remains a legally non binding document with a set of desired behaviors and outcomes and does not create any legally binding rights or obligation. The implementation of these principles will be consistent with existing domestic and international obligations. Signatories are invited to promote the development of structural and procedural indicators for trustworthiness of news and media outlets and their compliance with professional norms and ethics established in their state or industry. Yeah, right. However, they should abstain from directly deciding what amounts to quality or reliable content. What? Wow. For the purposes of this document, the following terms will be interpreted as principles. Principles are deemed to be a set of propositions or values that serve as a guide for expected behaviors or outcomes. Equity deserving individuals or groups are defined as those facing significant barriers to participation in different facets of society, primarily due to policies and practices that produce inequitable treatment. That's a lie. This marginalization could be created by attitudinal, historic, social, economic, legal, or environmental obstacles based on such factors as age, ethnicity, disability, economic status, gender, nationality, sexual orientation, blah, blah. Every deserving individuals and groups are those who face barriers to equal access, opportunities, and resources. Resources due to disadvantage and discrimination created by institutions, systems, narratives, and individuals in power. Ability to find content on a platform catalog or via search engine findability. The potential of content to appear in the hits of aggregation or collaborative filtering systems, predictability, and the potential for content to be recommended by the platform or other users based upon preference. Content from a plurality of sources, diversity of types and genres of content from creators of diverse backgrounds, as well as exposure diversity, meaning the level of exposure and consumption of different content by an individual. So basically, if you're watching too many videos with white scientists on there, they will mandate, a black scientist, even if he doesn't really know what he's talking about, for diversity and inclusion. Oh boy, yeah. So that's basically what it is. You're forced diversity. It's a dictatorship of the woke. Disinformation. Oh boy, we're waiting for this. The main event here. False or misleading content that is spread with the intention to deceive or the Orwellian confession by projection. Right here in the guiding principles of a government document. Right here, right in front of you. That's what I'm saying. It says it right here. So you can have all the diversity. You can have as many opinions if you like. But if it undermines our economic or political gain, screw you. That's misinformation. And it'll cause public harm. It says it right here. Misinformation is false or misleading content shared without harmful intent, though the effects can still be harmful when people share false information with friends and family in good faith. So even if you post something from an established source that contradicts the public mainstream narrative and could do harm, That's misinformation. Amazing. Transparency, under this theme, is referring to sharing sufficient information and a reasonable justification of the factors and logic that influence decisions and outcomes. Digital inclusion, the full and meaningful access to and use of digital technologies and the internet, requiring not only the availability of the physical infrastructure and access in terms of speed, cost, language, and literacy, but also online spaces conductive to civic population free from censorship, and the ability to trust industry and governments will keep users safe from online harms and violation of privacy. Oh my lord! Oh my lord! Wow. Wow. Right here, folks. It's so brazen and just out there. Wow. Amazing. Amazing. Wow. So yeah, you guys can. I just posted that in the chat there. Looks like we got a couple people in the chat here. You guys are welcome to come on. I don't know if I should be posting that, but whatever. Judas, it's 10 p.m. Judas, wasn't there a riot in Los Angeles today? I was seeing some guy. He whipped out his dick in front of kids at a spa, and then somebody protested, and then Antifa came out, and they had like a big scuffle. Yeah, I wonder if you know anything about that. I would love your commentary on that. There we go. Hello, Judas. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good, good. So I don't know if you're in Los Angeles or not, but I heard today that there was some guy that was in a spa and he whipped out his dick or something like that, and he showed it in front of kids, and then somebody protested this, and then Antifa beat up the protesters. I mean, that's the gist of it, but maybe I don't know if you know something about it or not. I don't know if you heard
I
anything.
know about that. What's the story called?
Uh, I'm not quite sure. I was just I saw it as I think I my source is like PT News. I don't know. They're a news network. They cover like other stories that are not mainstream. Story that doesn't cover. So I just saw that today, and I thought, oh, yeah, that's quite interesting. But what have you been up to lately?
No working.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I was just you know, I thinking I don't know. Canada's turning into a communist country, like it actually is.
You
Don't
have to
move to
give.
Canada.
You
They're
have to
arresting
give.
pastors in Canada. Did you know that?
You need to give a Sieg Hail, white brother.
See, why is that?
You
See,
need to go 1488, bro.
that's hate speech. I might get arrested. Feds might knock on my door.
You have skin
I'm not
tone.
even kidding, man. I'm not even kidding.
Come on, say the 14.
I'm not. I'm gonna get arrested.
You're tough, bro. Move to
Oh,
America.
cock. Fine, I'll say it. I'll say it. Seek hail. Seek Heil. That's how you say it, right? Seek Heil?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sieg Heil, Sieg
Seek
Heil.
Heil! Look, Roman salute. Roman salute time. I'm turning on the camera. Hey, oh, whoops. Camera time. Seek.
Sieg
Seek
Heil.
Heil. Seek Heil.
Sieg Heil.
Oh, my Lord. You crazy son of a gun. Yeah.
Eggs.
So what?
Some eggs.
Making eggs? That's cool. No. Is it hot there?
Yeah, it is, but it's getting cooler because it's nighttime.
Hmm. How's You're an Orthodox Jew, right?
Yeah,
How's that coming? Have you found a girlfriend yet or a wife?
no,
Has the rabbi found you a wife yet? No.
no.
Bummer. Isn't that like some Orthodox circles like the rabbi like pre approves like your mate?
Yeah,
Okay, I thought I did hear that. Okay, that's cool. Um, I don't know what else you want to talk about, but yeah, that's cool. So you're working. That's cool. Um, I don't know what else you could talk. Well, it's Fourth of July. Did you celebrate Independence Day?
no,
No. Would you like it to be canceled?
no.
Oh, because they canceled Canada Day.
That sucks, bro.
Yeah, because Canadians are a bunch of cucks and losers.
Seriously.
I just can't imagine like telling Americans that they can't cancel they can't celebrate their Independence Day. I don't see that. I don't know. Maybe I'm not exposed to cucks in America, but my impression of Americans is that they wouldn't put up with crap. Like they don't put up with crap from the like any arbitrary government policies, and they're resistant to it right away. You know. Whereas Canadians were like Commonwealth cucks. We're like, well, the government said it or the media said, and I don't want to dissent from that. So I don't want to be called. I don't want to be unpopular. So I'm just going to go with what everyone is doing. You know, it's more conformist that way. What would you
I just
think? What would you think if actually in Montreal they have you ever been to Montreal before?
no.
So in Montreal they actually target like Orthodox Jews. So the people who wear the same hat as you, and is that you? Who is that? Oh, why do you have another? Anyway, um, weird. Why is there another account on you? Are you on
That
two accounts?
fake click off.
Oh, cut off. Okay.
Is there an
Do you want me to
echo?
add the other one, and I can add the other one, and I can get rid of this one. Do you want me to do that?
Yeah, do that.
Okay, I'll do that. So in Montreal, they actually with the pandemic, like they're actually the cops they hang out at night in like around synagogues because they usually come out at night and they usually pray. And then when they're walking, they because there's a curfew in Montreal, so you can't be out like past like 8 o'clock, and like they usually walk like around 9 o'clock, and they go out and they say that you've been breaking curfew, and so they give out tickets and they arrest like Orthodox Jews and and it's like kind of like a implicit like anti-Semitism because it's like a Catholic like province, so it's has like Catholic roots. So it's very there's a kind of an institutional biased against Orthodox Jews. Um, so I was just wondering, like, do you have any like Catholic friends, or what do you think of Catholics? Do you think they're scum of the earth? No, no comment. Did he cut out? Oh, hello. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. There's two Judases here. Hello? Oh, I cut out.
Can you hear
Oh,
me?
I can hear you now.
They're heretics.
What makes them heretics?
They believe in the Jesus in the New Testament.
The Trinity?
Yeah.
Or okay.
They
What
are.
about the prophecy of Jesus?
It's heresy
Why do you say it's heresy?
because it's why I learned in yeshiva.
So you basically believe like all the Gentile prophets are heretics? Well, Jesus
Yeah.
wasn't a Gentile, but
Yes.
So why do you think they crucified Jesus?
Because he was spreading idolatry. That's what it says in the Talmud.
Oh, it
And
actually says that.
He stoned him.
Well, I heard the Talmud that Jesus is gonna be stoned and he's gonna burn in hell or a brimfire or
He's burning in feces.
burning in feces. There we go. Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
So what makes you guys a chosen people?
We were chosen from Hashem through our forefathers. Hashem gave our
And what makes
forefathers.
you what? So just because you're born of the flesh, you believe you're chosen,
Yes.
and you don't necessarily like. Aren't you accountable anyway to God's laws, or are
Yes.
you still just chosen to because of your flesh?
I have to keep God's laws.
Mm. So
But
like, go on.
I'm Jewish because my mom is Jewish.
Hmm. Right, you have to be your mother has to be a. So does it? Can a Gentile become Jewish?
Yes.
Okay. And what does a Gentile need to do to become Jewish?
He has to go through a kosher baked in a Jewish law house,
Mm-hmm.
and if it's a man, he has to get circumcision, or he has to get his dick pricked and some blood drawn if he's already had circumcision.
Mm-hmm.
And they make him accept the laws, and they put him in the mikveh, a body of water that's for conversions.
Mm-hmm.
It's called a mikveh.
Interesting. And what's the pillars of faith in Judaism?
Torah, Israel, and Hashem.
Israel.
Yeah, the people of Israel.
Mm.
Anyone
Do
who rises against Israel rises against the Holy One.
What if Israel is not practicing God's laws?
Then we will be
Won't they burn
punished.
in hell? Wasn't
Yeah, we will go to
yeah,
hell if we do not keep the laws.
yeah. Seem like they keep expanding and then they pathologize people who fight back against it.
Yeah, Jews are evil. We just want to know.
You want to enslave the Gentiles?
Yes, they're going to enslave the Gentiles when the Messiah comes. The Gentiles will be ours. Habra, habra, habra. Yes, with our souls. We're gonna grind up their babies and drain them of their blood. We'll put it in our matzah. Baby matzah blood. Baby, but is weed legal where you live?
Is it what?
Is it legal where you live?
To make comments about Jews?
No, to buy weed.
Oh yes,
Is there weed stores?
yes.
Is it legal for recreational or medicinal only?
Uh, recreational, but you have to buy it from a vendor. You can't buy it on the street.
Interesting. You ever puff up on the wacky tobacco?
Mm, not, no,
Why?
not very often.
Why?
Because it's the devil's lettuce.
Doesn't your religion permit it?
No, I don't even Christians even look down upon it. I mean, it was. I mean, looked down upon until recently. Now it's just been kind of slowly been normalized, but it's only been normalized because the government can make money off of it. They're trying
Good.
to. They're just trying to make more.
Weed
They're
is
just
a
trying to find
beautiful
ways to.
drug. Weed is
What?
a beautiful drug. Weed is a beautiful drug.
Yeah, weed fogs up your brain, makes you passive, makes you less likely to revolt.
Good.
Now, that's why it's legal here in Canada. So this everyone can just sit there in the basement and not speak out against the government.
Yep. That's how it should be.
So you would love it here in Canada, then you should move.
Gentiles. I got Cali bud.
Mm-hmm. And what's so great about Cali bud?
Best brand in the world.
Mm. Yeah, that's cool. Um, yeah, yeah. Like you should move to you should try BC. Um, but it's really strong. I had it once, and I took a puff, and it's just like I only took like one puff, and I was like, I guess you could say stoned for like probably like hours on end, and then like I when I took it like a shower, like as just like my head was like spinning. It was like I was trying to like focus on one thing, and then hello Clayton, I was trying to focus on one thing, and then I tried to like focus on like a spot, right? And when I tried to focus on a spot, it would just like it would explode. Like I'd get dizzy, and then I'd be like, whoa, 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 let's not get too dizzy. I'll try to focus on another spot. So I try to focus on another spot, and when I thought I had the one spot controlled, I get dizzy again. It was so weird. It was like I guess my ego was like getting shattered or something. Like I couldn't like pinpoint. I couldn't have like accurate pinpoint precision on my focus. It was so weird. I don't know if you've had that before, but I did. It was so weird. Like usually like when like usually if I were to get high, it would be like, oh, I would just kind of just sit, relax, and then stare at the ceiling, stare at a spot on the ceiling. But with this BC weed, it was like I was just trying to focus on one thing, and it wouldn't even allow me to do it. It was crazy. Hello, Clayman. How are you?
Oh, I'm good.
Yeah,
It's up late, I guess.
yeah,
Fun.
yeah. That's cool. I love the diversity of guests I get here. It's fantastic. Diversity. See, government. I'm for diversity of opinion and fact, but only if I start. I was just going. Did you see my? Did you watch earlier that document I went over? The guiding principles of diversity content online.
Sounds like a government outreach to me.
No. Well, it's just like they say in one breath, it's like we're for diverse content and pluralistic sources, but to combat misinformation. And misinformation can be viewed as anything that harms the public good. So, like, even, and they explicitly said too, even if you do it in good faith. So even if you do it in good faith, well, I'm not saying nobody does in good faith when they're citing alternative sources. But say let's say cite alternative sources as bad faith. So even if you cite established sources in good faith to your parents and it contradicts the public mainstream narrative of the day, that could be misinformation.
Okay.
That's how they construe it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's very twisted and very like, very manipulative.
They're hiding behind their words.
Yes. Yes, they are.
Got ulterior motives.
Some would say they might be part of the parasitic tribe. Uh-oh. Yeah. But yeah. What's been going on with you, Clayman?
Oh, same routine. Get up, develop all day long, and then go to bed.
Yeah, that's cool. You know that who is it that Megatism? That Megatism guy? He still hasn't responded to any of my challenges, or he hasn't even like replied to any of my comments that I made in the comments section.
What, Gus?
Well, Gus, it doesn't say it's Gus, but it might be him. I think it is him because the thing is, it's just like, like you make a comment about like, Travis's character, like they're going to undermine him as whatever, and then I make a point just like, well, what standards are you going by, and they're going to make fun of everybody and stuff like that, and you don't even reply to it, like. It's kind of weird. It's kind of like the same behavior if you try to talk to like anti-hate. You know that Muslim girl with the hijab that was like defaming the party, and she's just like, we need to have a discussion with these people from the Canadian Nationalist Party. They're like, the best disinfectant to hate is to shine a light on it and to have discussion with these people. And then once you start like refuting their points about their definition of inclusion and hate, and criticize their point of view, they just block you on Twitter. And same thing with like anti-hate, they just block you on Twitter if you have like a contrary like opinion and you don't back down from them. They're not about like robust debate and finding out the truth. They're just about manipulation and disempowering people with falsehood.
Yeah, it's like the last election. They invited Max and Bernie to go on there. They wouldn't let him talk. They just kept calling him racist. For having a difference of opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I really like what he was saying, though. Holy crap. So much different than the other guys.
Yeah, I think he was only like, they let him on, like the NDP guy was like really pressing him, like, oh my god, like you associate with far right racists, like you're really messed up, blah blah blah. Jagmeet Singh, I think Jagmeet Singh has a bone to pick with Bernie for sure, explicitly for sure. The other ones are kind of like they're kind of like doughy-eyed, like the liberal and the conservatives, but Jagmeet Singh, I guess he's like more left-leaning, progressive, woke type, so he's like more explicit about his motivations, where the other guys are just kind of like, they're not really expressing in that manner. They're just kind of, they just rather would stay out of it,
Did you take that political compass thing that they had there that year?
What political compass?
It's like a political compass. I ended up being completely far capitalist and decentralized.
Okay. So, like a libertarian?
Yeah, but decentralized.
Yeah. It's not a bad idea. I'm not necessarily, I wouldn't say I would be capitalist per se, but decentralization, yeah. I'd say it'd be like left leaning, decentralized. I'd probably be more collectivist, I guess, instead of individualistic. So if you say capitalism, it's just like radical individualism. I'm not for radical individualism. Radical individualism never has really existed until recently. It's like this Adam Smith idea that's like morphed into, you know, people not taking responsibility for their community. I guess not being community minded. I guess in their actions and just being self serving in their actions. But that's how politicians work. They see like even Maxime Bernier. They see like a gripe within the demographics, and then they go after that, as opposed to like being a leader for the community. They pursue their individualist interests, and they're opportunistic. There's nothing wrong with being opportunistic, but I guess it's just how you use how you are opportunistic. Are you just grifting off of other people's ideas, or you know, actual concerns?
Equality of opportunity.
The what?
As long as it's equality of opportunity.
Yeah, equality of opportunity. Yeah, and if you're black, trans, and a Muslim, you have you're more oppressed, and therefore you should have more access to resources and
Yeah, it's been really screwed up lately.
no. But if you're a white straight male, forget about it. You deserve destitution, especially if you're not a cuck. Yeah, I hate males. I hate males that are cucks, like white straight males, which is like most Canadian men. Man, I just like, yeah. Most Canadians are just like, they're cowards. Like they put up a front, like, like I got accosted one day for not wearing a mask in a store, and he's just like, "You should wear a mask," and I'm like, "No, I'm mask exempt." And it's just like, it's none of your business anyway. He's just like, "Yes, it is my business," and it's just like, my friend's just like, when people dealing with people like that, you just guilt them, like you morally guilt them. It's just like you just say, "I forgive you," you know, and then it'll just remind them how much of a shitty person they are, and trying to guilt you into mass compliance. It'll come up like, you can call them a Nazi or a commie or a Bolshevik. Like, didn't the Nazis like want like mass compliance as well? And you're targeting me like the minority Jew, like in Nazi Germany. How dare you? This is how the Holocaust. This is how 6 million people died. You piece of shit. But I still forgive you for being a piece of shit, and that really like hits them in the heart. You know what I mean? Yeah. It works. Try it sometime.
I'll give it a try sometime. Yeah.
Instead of just getting mad and wanting to punch them in the face, just guilt them.
I usually just ignore them.
That's true. But if they're like really up in your face and you can't ignore them, like if they shout across, just guilt them. Yeah. Yeah. But anyway.
A lot of us are not complying in my community.
Pardon?
A lot of us are not complying in my community.
Yeah, that's cool. I guess this is the city centers that maybe they're just complaining. But
I live out in rural Alberta.
oh yeah, the Jason Kenney arrested a whole bunch of pastors.
Fucker. You get away with that shit?
And then he can have he can be in the Sky Palace and break his own rules because he's the elite. He's the king of Alberta. He can do what he likes. All you peasants need to wear a mask, take 10 vaccines, socially distance. You know, if you want to see your grandmother, you have to wear a hazmat suit. You know, just basically like, I bet you there's just sitting behind closed doors right now, just laughing at the peasants. Ha ha! Look what we make them doing, and then they're costing each other. Ha ha ha! The plan is working. Ha ha ha! Like a Doctor Evil kind of thing. You know?
Yeah, it's getting ridiculous.
Well, it's only going to get worse because everyone's like, oh yeah, with the summer they're lifting restrictions, and you don't have to wear a mask, and you know, you're free to travel as you like, but you know, with the vaccine passports, and then they're talking about this Delta variant. You know, it's going to get worse. You know, it's going to get a lot worse before it gets any better.
Yeah. They're loosening the grip and they tighten it even more after that.
Yeah, like they're not going to admit they're wrong. Like they always have to be in control, right? Like, you know, even if they actually lose control, like say if a whole bunch of businesses open up, they'll be like the next day, they'll be like, oh, guess what? Businesses can open now. You know, it's really incumbent upon the people, which is maybe sad in Canada. Maybe not so much in the U.S., but in Canada, yeah, it's a lot of people just think they're going to comply, and then they just comply to the end, and then it'll go back to normal. You know, but that's a really shitty mentality. You do have some people that are just so brainwashed that they just believe it hook, line, and sinker. They're not there. They're probably beyond saving.
I hear you there.
Also, I would like to also preach. You guys need a bug out bag. All four of you guys are watching right now. You know, get a bug out bag. I don't care where you're from. Get like a military backpack. Get like a compass, an axe, for a fire starter. You know, maybe a saw, so you can saw some wood. What else? Bear spray, like some food, maybe like fishing rod, fishing tackle. What else? I don't know, like maybe a crossbow too. A crossbow would probably be good too, because in an apocalypse you're going to run out of ammo eventually. Unless you can make your own bullets, I mean that'd be a plus too. You know, making your own bullets would be it. Actually, my uncle makes his own bullets. It's quite fascinating.
Bow and arrow would be good.
What?
Bow and arrow would be good.
Yeah, bow and arrow, like a crossbow. Yeah. So yeah, good advice for sure. What else the public should know? What else? Oh, build a shelter. Does anyone know how to build a shelter? Like, I saw videos like you could just dig underground and then you can like have a roof. And then actually I saw one guy, he actually built like a chimney, like he built like a stove, like a makeshift stove in there. So like he dug underground and then he like made like a makeshift stove, and he actually, and then I don't know if he had, what do you have for grilling? I I don't know. He had his own he had his own grill. So also another tip too, like have your own uh well, I don't know. You could probably get this at campsites, but like have your own grill templates as well. That would help too. But yeah, he had his own grill templates, and he was like cooking like pancakes and or he was like cooking. I don't know, what was he cooking? He was cooking like flatbread and all that stuff. And he had his roof was made out of sticks, and then he put leaves in there, and then he put dirt, and he put more leaves in there, and then he put another layer of dirt. It was like really sealed. It was pretty impressive. And he dug like a moat. It was crazy. You know, just like the industrious spirit. Like they just want us to be locked down, lazy, dependent, and not industrious. And it's all by design. Even people who are industrious, it is affecting you because you're not being compliant to their agenda. So at least you know that they know where you are. But if you're out in the bush and they can't track you, you know you're a liability. You don't know what they're going to do. No, they don't know what you're going to do, right? So, yeah. Whoa, there's 5 people right now. I wonder how much of them are CSIS. Just kidding. Yeah, any of you 5 people want to come on right now? I'll post a link in the chat again. I don't know if it's on there, but new comments. Judas right now is eating leftover veggie pizza and vegetarian chili cheese fries. That's interesting. Support diversity of content here. Leftover veggie pizza, eh? Is it like really soggy? And I don't know, like microwave pizza sometimes it just like it gets soggy sometimes. I don't know. And chili cheese fries, wow. Well, at least you're getting your vegetables in. That's a good thing. The only concern I have with that is the carbs. You know, the carbs might be a bit of a concern, but other than that, you know, well, the chili is made from soy. Well, what isn't made from soy? Go, okay, everybody, all 6 of you people watching right now, go in your pantry and see if you could find something that's not made of soy. And if you can find something that's not made of soy, I'll send you some Bitcoin. I don't know. You heat it in the oven. Oh, that's very noble of you. Very smart indeed. Good move. Good move, Judas. Good move. Good call. But yeah, I'm very cool. Oh, my 6 people are watching right now. We're talking about they like the food stuff, I guess, eh? Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, so I don't know, 6 people. I was just kind of recapping. I was just going over the guiding principles of diversity document, and we were just elaborating on it. But I could share the screen again just to catch up with guys. And there's a lot of new people coming on here, so I just want to make sure we're not too off topic. Let's see here. So yeah, so we just went over this, and these are just some of the definitions that they have, and then this is the guiding principles. So it's not necessarily like a legal document per se, but this is principles that they are. It's the axioms that they derive their laws, such as like Bill C-10 and Bill C-36, and some of the definitions here I think you guys might find interesting. So disinformation, they view this as false or misleading content that is spread with the intention to deceive or secure economic or political gain with which may cause public harm. Misinformation is false or misleading content shared without harmful intent, though the effects can still be harmful. Example, when people share false information with friends and family in good faith. So even if you share information, but it's supposedly false, so you can even, so as I said this earlier, so you can even share something from a mainstream source, but if that article, say it's old or something like that, or it's like a month old, so if they said something 1 month and then they backtrack and they say something else, if you quote that one from a month ago, that could be misleading the public and cause public harm. From quoting from their own site, it's not about whether a source is even credible or not. It's just about what is the mainstream narrative and what they view as public good, right? It's not about, writing a research paper and deciphering, why this content is credible and citing their work and how they're experts in the field. No, it's it's about basically about control. Like, just I'll just say it. It's just blind control, tyranny of the worst sorts, and yeah. So that's what it is. We got 3 people watching now. How does 6 people watch? Anyway, yeah. So that's basically the. You guys can go back and view the stream. I went through it thoroughly, but I think I just wanted to accomplish that. And following the principles of diverse content, we had a Jewish person and we had a Christian on the show today. So I think that was successful. And it's about an hour, so I don't want to make it too long. But anyway, I will see you guys later. Happy 4th of July, Independence Day to the American audience. And for the Canadian audience, stop being a cuck and, stop being ashamed of who you are. Yeah, so, Native First Nations people, they are just as far as Canada as everybody else. But that's a complicated issue. But yeah, don't be guilty of who you are. I think that's a sin. The main, if I were to let's leave off with the message here, don't be guilty for who you are because it's a sin to God, because God made you in your image, in His image. So if you're guilty of you're being white, Jewish, whatever, repent of that sin and get right with God. So I'll leave you with that message. Other than that, guys, have a good rest of your day, and peace out.